Live on tape from Peninsula Television Studios, high above beautiful downtown San Carlos, Pacific Bell presents Peninsula Quiz Kids. And now, the host of our show, Brad Friedman.
Hello! Thank you so much. Welcome to Peninsula Quiz Kids, the show where knowledge, speed, and collaboration are the tools these kids need for the chance to win fabulous prizes. This is the last of the first round games, and we have two teams from the southernmost part of the peninsula to compete, so let's meet them right now. First, the Carlmont High School Scots. Here's our captain, Robert Maitia. You're a senior. Did I say that right?
Maitia.
Maitia?
Sorry.
I'll get it right as the game progresses. We're not going to do the game because you and I are just going to talk about your interest in mind, cinema, film. You want to be a filmmaker, huh? Mm-hmm. Have you gotten into a school? You know where you're going to study?
I've gotten into NYU and USC, and I'm deciding between that and maybe UCLA. 3 wonderful schools, wonderful film programs.
If you had to select 1 or 2 filmmakers that had a real influence on you, who would they be?
Most definitely the first would be Alfred Hitchcock, because he's just great. And then Billy Wilder.
My favorite, yes.
Because he's just mastered the comedy before anybody else could get to it.
The master of suspense, the master of comedy. You couldn't pick 2 better mentors. Here is your teammate, Anton Dolinsky. Excuse me, Anton, you're a senior.
Yeah.
And you are interested in politics, the art of war, science fiction, movies from the 1970s, and you like novels, reading them and perhaps writing them?
Yeah, I've been considering writing a novel.
Do you have give us a hint on the plot?
It's a revision of the legend of King Arthur set against the backdrop of the late future.
That sounds pretty cool. Good luck to you. That's a very, very noble pursuit. Here is Hassan Lunsford, also a senior. You are from the Philippines originally. You emigrated here when you were 6. You are into piano, golf, and travel, I understand. And you describe yourself as an adventurous person. What do you consider the great adventure of your life?
Well, I consider myself so adventurous, in fact, that I enjoy long walks on the beach.
And if this were the dating game, that would be a perfect adventure. But indeed. Well, why don't you lead us in an applause for your coach, who teaches social studies at Carlmont, Miss Patricia Bronstein. Well, you might win or you might not. It depends on what happens when you play against the Woodside High School Wildcats. Paige Griffith is the captain and the youngest member of this team. You're a sophomore, I understand. You're a soccer player. You play at school and also outside of school, right?
Yes, for CYSA.
Okay. And you are the co-president of the Jasper Ridge 4-H Club. We don't see a lot of 4-H club members around here. What are some of the things that you do?
I am in the junior leadership, where we actually run the club and plan the meetings, and I love making clothing for every day and special events.
That's wonderful. Good for you. Here is your partner, Rick Latora. You're a senior, Rick. You are the student body vice president, and you hope to major in political science when you go to college. Any idea where that might be?
I'm going to be going to UC Davis.
You're going to emphasize in public service.
Yes.
That's great. I understand you organized a community service program called Forever Read. How does that work?
Well, what it is you guys can see from these shirts, it's a program called Forever Read, and we go in to elementary school classes and we give books to young children, and we give them such things as pencils and stuff, and we read to them or with them, try to keep them,
that sounds
encourage
great.
them to read.
Anything you can do to inspire young people to read is wonderful. And your final teammate is Hannah Kim. Hannah, you're a junior, and I understand you're an artist and hope to be an art therapist. What does that mean?
An art therapist uses the ideas of Freud and mainly helps children and uses art as a tool.
Wonderful. You also do a lot of volunteer work. I understand you're president of the Octagon Club at school. Are they a volunteer organization?
Mm-hmm. We do community service, plant trees, and clean beaches.
That's great. Gosh, I've got 6 great kids here. Why don't you give a big hand to the Woodside coach, Miss Amber Aguirre. Amber is the Woodside High School Cybrarian. She has brought them into the technological age. Good for you, Amber. We're going to start playing, but first I have to introduce a most important man. It is our judge, the man who puts the 4 in what is 2 plus 2. Let's give a big hand to Frank Saboti. Okay, y'all ready to play? Let's start with our first round. Let's play the lightning round. All right, you see in front of you buzzers. Your hands are ready to press those buzzers. I'm going to ask a series of questions. Each one is worth 10 points. When I ask a question, if you think you know the answer, buzz in. The first person to buzz gets the first chance to answer. If you answer correctly, you'll win 10 points for your team. If not, the other team gets a chance to collaborate and perhaps steal those 10 points for their score. Ready? Good luck. Here we go. First question. The ovary is an example of which one of the following? A cell, a tissue, an organ, or a system? Anton.
It's a cell.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal this one, Woodside. The ovary is an example of which one of the following? A tissue, an organ, or... Yeah, you don't... Robert, leave me alone. I'm sorry, yes, it's exciting. A tissue, an organ, or a system?
Is it an organ?
It is an organ for 10. Now you get a chance to buzz in. Ready? Which one of the following 4 writers was not a contemporary of Shakespeare? Was it Christopher Marlowe, Jonathan Swift, Ben Jonson, or Edmund Spenser? Anton.
Jonathan Swift.
Jonathan Swift is correct for 10. Next question. A straight angle has a set number of how many degrees? Paige.
90.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You don't even have to buzz. You can talk it over. Relax, Hassan. Relax. What do you want to say?
Oh, 180.
180 is right for 10 points. Ah, the buzz-happy boys of Carlmont High. Next question. Yeah. Mike Lee's 1999 film Topsy-Turvy is about which famous operetta duo? Anton.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Gilbert and Sullivan is correct for 10. Together with Georges Braque, which famous Spanish painter founded the Cubist movement? Hassan.
Picasso.
Picasso is right for 10. The score right now. Robert, did you want to say the score? Let me do my job. Carlmont 40, Woodside 10, and here we go. Setting many of his novels in California, who wrote the well-regarded novella, The Red Pony? Paige.
It was John Steinbeck.
John Steinbeck is right for 10 points. In baseball, what does the abbreviation ERA stand? Yes, Hassan.
Earned run average.
Earned run average is correct. What do we call the process by which heat energy is transmitted directly through a material substance? Yes. Hannah. Sorry?
Friction?
Friction, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You could steal it if you can tell me the process by which heat energy is transmitted directly through a material substance. Carlmont High School, your answer.
What is the process of transferring heat?
That's a great guess. That is wrong. The correct answer is conduction. Well, we'll move on. Who was Oliver Twist's mentor in thievery? Yes, Rick.
Who is the Artful Dodger?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a good guess, but it's incorrect. Can you tell us the name of the mentor in Oliver Twist? The thieving mentor.
I don't know.
Can you tell me?
The classical Dodger?
The classical Dodger is also incorrect. You've got to pick a pocket or two, said Fagin. Fagin. In geometry, a theorem has two parts. What are they? Yes, Hassan.
Hypothesis and a proof.
I will take that. Hypothesis and proof. For 10. Carlmont is leading with 60 to Woodside's 20. Here we go. To which legal group do the following belong? Stephen Breyer, David Souter, and Antonin Scalia. Yes, Robert.
They're the Chief Justices of the Supreme Court.
Of the Supreme Court, that's correct. In Raphael's masterpiece, School of Athens, Aristotle's rationalism is portrayed in opposition to the mystical spiritualism of which ancient Greek philosopher? Yes, Anton.
Plato.
Good, I didn't want to ask that one again. 10 points. During the first manned landing on the moon 26 years ago, which American astronaut first walked yes, Robert.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong is right for 10. How many Olympic gold medals did swimmer Mark Spitz win in 1972? Yes, Rick.
4.
4 is incorrect. I'm sorry. You can take it if you can tell me the number of Olympic gold medals Mark Spitz won.
5.
I'm sorry, the correct answer is 7. Next question. What is the function of a car's carburetor? Yes, I don't know that either. What is... Okay, good. We'll move on. To mix the right amount of gas and air. Did you know that? You didn't. The Martian Chronicles and Dandelion Wine were written by... Yes, Hassan.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. No, I'm sorry. Let me finish the question for Woodside. The Martian Chronicles and Dandelion Wine were written by which author of science fiction?
It was Ray Bradbury.
That is correct. Okay, you know, you don't have to ask it in the form of a question here.
I'm sorry.
No, you did great. Let's look at the end of the first round score. Carlmont 90, Woodside 30. Give him a hand. Anton, I'm always fascinated about how the mascots get selected. So where did we get the Carlmont Scots?
Well, I suppose that the Scots are supposed to be a tough and hardy people, so that must have been it.
Because the Carlmont Scots are a tough and hardy student body.
Yeah,
I helped you there.
yeah. I have no idea, but...
That's all right. So what's prancing about the field on a game? Is it a guy in a tartan with a bagpipe or a...
Something like that.
Something like that. All right.
Some guy in blue costume.
This conversation is at an end. We're going to move on to the face-off round. We have here Rick and Anton. They are experts in their field. Anton specializes in history, Rick in sports. I'm going to start with Woodside and ask Rick a question on sports. If you get the question correct, you'll earn 20 points for your team. If not, forget about it. We'll move on to the next question. We'll go back and forth until the round is over. See how you do. Good luck to both of you. And I'll start with you since Woodside is behind at this point. First sports question. What team did San Francisco Giants star Barry Bonds play for prior to joining the Giants?
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates is correct for 20 points. The first history question, Anton. Who ran as the Republican candidate against John F. Kennedy in 1960?
Richard Nixon.
That is correct for 20. With what team did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar end his playing career?
I believe it was with the Los Angeles Lakers.
The Lakers is correct. Anton, what city hosted the Constitutional Convention in 1787?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is right. In golf, who has won the most major tournaments?
This is over a lifetime or just 1 year?
I will say over a lifetime, I believe.
Okay. I'd have to say Arnold Palmer.
Sorry, it's Jack Nicklaus. We'll move on. Which famous athlete won 4 gold medals in track and field in Berlin at the 1932 Olympics?
Jackie Owens.
I'm sorry, Jackie Owens is incorrect. It's Jesse Owens. Oh.
Oh well.
For which team did Walter Payton play his entire career?
Chicago Bears.
That is correct for 20 points. Was the War of 1812 in the U.S. related to the Crimean War, the Franco-Prussian War, the Napoleonic Wars, or the 7 Years' War?
Napoleonic Wars.
That is correct for 20. Name the NFL coach who led the Bears and Saints in the 1990s.
And then Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka is correct. He was an undistinguished senator until he claimed to have a list of known communists. His name?
Joseph McCarthy.
That is right for 20 points. In baseball, it's called the All-Star Game. What is the equivalent event called in professional football?
The Pro Bowl.
That is right for 20. Following the Protestant Reformation, the Roman Catholic Church encouraged people to return to their original faith. Name this historic movement.
The Restoration.
I'm sorry, it's the Counter-Restoration. So close. In golf terms, what is a bunker?
It is a sand trap.
That is right, or any obstacle. Who is often referred to as the Bambino by his teammates?
Mussolini. Oh no.
No, Babe Ruth. Sports history is part of history, yes. Let's look at the score. It's gotten closer. Carlmont's at 170, Woodside's at 150. What a game! I like the Beach Boys. So, you are only a sophomore, Paige, so you've got a ways to go. But besides the magnificent library, I'm sure you have.
Oh, yes.
What are some of the other wonderful things you find about Woodside?
We have really good sports teams.
Good sports teams.
Really good sports
Okay.
teams. I think all of our winter sports varsity teams made it to CCS.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. Good. Well, I wish you all best of luck at the end of season sports. And you guys have really done a good showing. You've brought the score up. It's very close, 170 to 150. And we can see what will happen in our final collaboration round. Well, here's where strategy will pay off, because this is how it works. I have here 2 sets of questions. The easier questions are worth 20 points. The harder questions are worth 40 points. I'm going to start with Woodside because you're just a little bit behind, and you'll get to choose a point value. I'll ask you the question, and you have 10 seconds to collaborate. If you come up with the correct answer, and I will hear the answers from the captains only here, Paige and Robert will be the ones to speak to me. Tell me the answer. If it's right, you earn the points. If you don't, the other team gets a chance to collaborate and steal. We'll keep going until the game is over and we have a winner. Everyone understand? Okay, Paige, where do you want to start?
40 points.
40 points. Which 19th century American poet wrote the following? Some keep the Sabbath going to church, I keep it staying at home, with a bobolink for a chorister and an orchard for a dome. Talk it over. Do you have an answer for me?
Emily Dickinson.
That is correct for 40 points. Carlmont, it's your turn.
Oh, we're gonna go for 40.
All right. How many inches are in 2.5 yards?
Are you sure?
And your answer?
Our answer. And I have to give it. 90.
90 is right. I don't need to generate any suspense. They're doing it for me. Woodside, your turn.
40, please.
40. Name this American pop artist whose controversial series of Campbell's soup cans eventually became famous. And your answer page.
I have no idea.
Michael J.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Okay.
Carlmont, can you name the artist, the pop artist?
Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol is right. You steal the 40 points, and it's your turn.
And we're gonna go for 40.
Go for a 40, all right. Name the membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord of a vertebrate.
Sorry, you.
I know you're having a good time over there. Can you tell me, Robert, the name of the membranes?
I can't even hear anything. The I didn't hear what you said. Trimangular?
Cool, that's not right, though. Woodside, can you tell us the name of the membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord of a vertebrate?
What?
Is it the meninges?
That is absolutely right. It was your turn to steal. Let's look at the score here. It is still close. Woodside's 230, Carlmont 250. What will you have?
40, please.
40 points. Would give you the lead. Name this American businessman whose petroleum company, Standard Oil, was broken up by the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890.
Rockefeller?
Rockefeller is right. You take the lead. Robert, 40 points. What is the name given to a four-sided polygon?
What? What is a quadrilateral?
It is a quadrilateral. That's correct for 40. Page. Which sport did Bobby Orr play professionally? Tell her.
Hockey?
Hockey's right for 40. Oh, it's so close. Keep going, Robert.
40.
40. The echidna and the platypus, the only two families belonging to the order of monotremes, are unique. Why is this?
What? They lay eggs?
They lay eggs for 40. Woodside.
40.
40. Written by a 16th century Italian, this political philosophy guide characterized an ideal leader as calculating, amoral, and able to unify the state. Name the author and the title.
Machiavelli and the Prince.
That is correct. Machiavelli is the prince. Robert.
40.
40. What is 8% of 400? Your answer.
32.
32 is right. And our score is still 20 points off. Woodside 350, Carlmont 370. Page.
40.
40. In 1998, which Texas running back broke Tony Dorsett's career rushing record, finishing with 6,279 yards?
Ricky Williams?
That is right for 40. Robert.
40.
40. What is the name of the musical based on Cervantes' Don Quixote?
What is Man of La Mancha?
That is right, Man of La Mancha. Page. 40. The laws set down by what famous astronomer have successfully predicted the motions of the planets and satellites since the year 1619? Name this astronomer.
Galileo?
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal this, Robert. Can you name the astronomer who's created the laws that have successfully predicted the motions of the planets and satellites since the year 1619?
I can't even pronounce it. Kepler. Read the book. Kepler.
Johannes Kepler is correct for 40 points. I hear the sound which says the round is over, and the final score, boy, what a close race. Woodside at 390, but Carlmont with 450 points is our winner. We're running out of time, but I want to thank both teams for playing a really tight race all the way through. I want to thank you all for coming too. I hope you'll come back when we start our second round of competitions next week. So thank you for tuning in. Come back to see Peninsula Quiz Kids soon. Bye-bye. Congratulations.
The Grand Prize, a trip to Lemon Terrace and Rome, is provided courtesy of EF Educational Tours of Santa Barbara. The producers of Peninsula Quiz Kids thank the following for their support: Pacific Bell, Independent Newspaper Group, Jamba Juice Peninsula, Century Theaters, Target, Sam Trans, Festive Productions Burlingame, Silver Terrace Nursery, AEIS Ronald Bland, www.channelx.com, and Expression Center for New Media.